Hi, I'd like to welcome everybody to a discussion of the latest round of new releases that are headed your way during one of our wine clubs. They'll be shipping out very soon, so I'm going to discuss 6 different wines. We're going to do something a little bit different. Usually I post my written winemaker's notes in the email that comes to everybody before the shipment. And those notes will still be on our website and in those emails. But today we're going to try a little video discussion of the wines. Hope everybody's holding up and staying strong during these crazy COVID virus times. And I'd like to thank everybody for all the wines that they've been purchasing. The last couple months we've been actually shipping out quite a bit of wine to our thirsty fans. So thank you very much for really helping to keep us going. This is the 2019 Galvanized Synergy White. So it's a takeoff on last year's version. Last year was a blend of Grenache Blanc and Clairette Blanche. And this year's version is a little more complicated. It's 4 varieties. It's Vermentino, it's Clairette Blanche again, there's some Picpoul, and there's also a little bit of Viognier. So what the Galvanized Synergy label is really all about is a celebration of flavor, blending, flavor, integration, and also new varieties. These are some new varieties that are hitting our shores in California and in Santa Barbara County. Clairette Blanche, we've made three vintages now. The Picpoul that's in this wine is our first vintage exploring that variety. Most of these varieties are very fresh, they're very aromatic, so they are the kinds of tools that you want to have in the kit to blend together just the perfect seductive blend, which is what it's all about. It's barrel fermented, so it's got a beautiful texture, nice long finish. The flavor just keeps going and going. Perfect wine for spring, summer, chill it down, good with a lot of foods. This is the red counterpart to the white. Again, Galvanized Synergy. The idea is to create a synergy of grapes in the bottle. In this case, the one grape that's really driving the whole theme is a grape called Carignan. It's kind of an enigmatic grape. A lot of people consider it to be not that worthy of a grape. Like it's sort of responsible in a lot of people's minds for creating the so-called French wine lake, which through like the 60s and 70s was just this huge glut of wine that was coming out of France, and a lot of it was due to this grape Carignan. There's a famous wine writer, Jancis Robinson, who wrote like the encyclopedia on wine. She's kind of down on the grape, you know, almost concluding like, just really doesn't make great wine. But in the St. Ynez Valley, lo and behold, we're finding it's stunning. So we are capturing the Carignan with the most beautiful Syrah in the county that comes out of Rancho Sisquoc, and then also some of the most beautiful Grenache. We're still in the exploratory phases trying to find out what vineyards make the best Grenache in the county, but the project has been fun and delicious. The wine this is the 3rd one we've made, 16, 17, now 2018. The wine is huge. It's very rich, it's very structured, deep, penetrating, long finish. The wine should age forever, 20 years. I mean, the way it's tasting to me is probably go 20 years in your cellar if you take care of it. So it's got this really awesome tight core, but at the same time, it's got this sort of sexy, seductive, aromatic quality to it as well. That's the 2018 Galvanized Synergy Red. We call it the new genre red. Okay, so now let's talk about value. This is the 2019, so hot off the press. Rita's Earth Pinot Noir. We've made this wine, this label, a few years now, and it's always been about value, trying to hit a price point for Pinot Noir that's being largely derived from either my vineyard or other spectacular vineyards in Santa Barbara County. The suggested retail continues to be 25. So if you're in the wine club, you're receiving it for even less than that. And it's just, once again, it's just absolutely beautiful, soothing, soft, everyday Pinot Noir, red wine. Wow, that's pretty good. It's 100% Pinot Noir. It was just bottled, and it was in a little bit of bottle shock a couple months ago, right after we bottled it, but now it's starting to get kind of a little succulent and sweet again on the palate. And it should age nicely. This is not like the 20-year wine that the Galvanized Synergy is, but there's no reason this guy wouldn't go 6 or 7 years gracefully. Rita's Earth. My daughter Chloe did the label. It's a pencil drawing of a rose, which is emblematic of Saint Rita, who is the namesake of the Santa Rita Hills, is where our winery is located. And the story goes that Rita had one last request before she passed away, and that was that somebody bring her a rose from her rose garden. But the challenge was that it was in the dead of winter, so nobody thought there would be a rose. But sure enough, they went out to try to find one, and there was one spectacular rose in the dead of winter that they took to Rita. Now we'll get into some heavy hitters, shall we say. 2018, The Limit Chardonnay. This is literally block 31 at the Radian Vineyard. This could be, well, I think it probably is. It's definitely one of the best blocks of Chardonnay in Santa Barbara County and in the Santa Rita Hills. And if you consider how good the Chardonnay and the Pinot Noir is in the Santa Rita Hills, that's really like saying this could be one of the best blocks of Chardonnay in California. The fruit is stunning. Every year it makes something that's like a cross between absolute California fruit bomb and very sophisticated European Burgundian minerality. So there's a slenderness to it, there's an explosiveness to it, great acidity, but it also has this richness and texture and fruit development that you typically find in more California wines. It was barrel fermented, malolactic, the full Burgundian élevage, 9 months on the lees, and then racked perfectly clean. That is an unfiltered white wine, which you don't normally see. If you see people that try to not filter their wines, they're usually a little more cloudy than this. But we've got some special equipment, and of course my crew, which is just the best crew that a winemaker could ever dream to have. We get this thing transparent and clear and in the bottle just like this every year. There's a reason we call it The Limit, because I just don't know if Chardonnay can get much better than that. It really is the limit. And this right here is the next batch of wine that's scheduled to go out the door later today to all you thirsty fans. Continuing with the theme of heavy hitters, this is the 2018 Slice of Heaven Pinot Noir. The previously Slice of Heaven over the years was produced from block number 14 at the well-known Rita's Crown Vineyard. And that block of Pinot Noir produced absolutely spectacular Pinot for me for almost a decade. Unfortunately, that block fell under pressure from Pierce's disease, and after about half the block died, I had to migrate across the river to the next stunning, awesome hillside that was planted recently at the Donica Vineyard. So Slice of Heaven is now being made from, it's actually a blend of 3 different blocks, so we get a little clonal blending here from the Donica Vineyard. It was sad because I was heartbroken when I saw block 14 in decline. at Rita's Crown, but when they planted Donica right across the river, and I looked at it one day, I'm like, whoa, what is that? And developed a relationship with the grower and the owner, and here we are. So the name's the same, but we just migrated to a little different location, same locality in the Santa Rita Hills. The wine is mind-boggling. Fruit, density, expression of soil, expression of location within the Santa Rita Hills. When we get to these single vineyard Pinots, it's not just an expression of the Santa Rita Hills. It really, truly starts to become an expression of, a microcosm of soils within any given vineyard. The 18 vintage is just absolutely stunning, just mind-boggling. Fortunately, I only have one more wine to discuss, because after all this tasting, you never know where this could go. All right. 2018 Radical. So now we're looking at the Radian Vineyard. It has been usually a blend of blocks 31 and 42. These are blocks that are steep and they're very exposed, so they're edgy. They get slammed by cold air every day. The vines have to struggle. They're a little more petite. They're more governed by the soil, and they're more governed by the microclimate and the cool air that slams into these blocks every day. The hang time is longer. The fruit develops more slowly, and so it has a longer time to hang on the vine and just develop these ethereal flavors, and is always very concentrated. You can tell just by the fact that that's a dark Pinot Noir. And these blocks at Radian are the reason. Also perfectly farmed, both Donica and the Radian Vineyard are just perfectly managed and farmed by Coastal Vineyard Care, all the guys that take very good care of these blocks. It's so good. Again, the 18 vintage is just this, if you really are fascinated with the idea of what a great soil imparts into a wine, and Pinot Noir is such a great conduit to those soils. This is the stuff. 2018 Radical. I hope you enjoyed the discussion. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.